Hello, and welcome to volume 321. I'm Mark Graves, just a regular guy fighting prostate cancer, and I'm glad to have you along for the ride. Thanks so much for being here. And thank you, too, for following this channel. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of the love that you guys give me, all the support, all the great comments. I know it's been a while since I put a video up, and I've had a few of you needling me, Steve. And so this is going to be like a slideshow. I went down to Florida. Today is actually Thursday, so I left a week ago today and had a great time. Went down to visit some of my buddies that I have met over the last couple of years through this channel and through Zoom support groups and Facebook. So I went down to see Lee and Indio and Dennis and just had a wonderful time. So I'm going to show you some of the pictures from the trip and just kind of give you a little narration as we go along. I hope you enjoy it. I had a fantastic time. All right, so this is the beginning of my journey. This is Long Beach Airport, hashtag fly LGB, Long Beach. And it's a great place to fly out of. I love this airport. It's very small. It has been expanded in the last, I'd say probably 10 years. They remodeled a lot of stuff, made it bigger. They're actually remodeling the front of it right now. But the cool thing is, as you can sort of see in the background there, and you'll see a picture in a minute that's even closer, they don't have the airways or the gangways, whatever you call it, the tubes to walk out to the airport. They have ramps out there. No flight would be good without coffee. And the cool part was I went up to order this, and it wasn't a Starbucks. I don't know, what does that say? Sheldrake coffee roasting. But it was like a Starbucks, and there was a bunch of people sitting there waiting to get their coffee. There must have been 12 to 15 people. And, of course, I walk up, and I ask for a large black coffee. And before I could finish putting my credit card information in, they handed me the coffee. I turned around. People were looking at me and like, hey, don't hate. You know, this is what you get when you drink black coffee. Here's the Southwest Airlines plane. We're going to get ready to board. Now, you can see the ramp that I'm talking about. They don't have an airway. I don't know what they call them, airway, gangway, whatever it is, the tunnel that comes out to the airplane. Here, it's an open tarmac. So you come out of the airport, you walk over to the ramp, and they board both the front and the back, both front and back of the airplane. You can only see it from the other side, but it makes it really cool getting in there, and it has kind of a nostalgic feel to it. The bad part is if you're ever flying out of Long Beach in the rain, it's not that great. All right, so the way that Southwest boards you is there's no reserved seating on that. You kind of go into a lottery and you find out what your group position is going to be. And so I totally lucked out. I was in Group A, position 01, which means I was the first guy on the plane in Long Beach. And this was going from Tampa, and I'll be changing, or I'm sorry, from Long Beach to Tampa. Where did I go? Long Beach to Austin, Austin and Tampa. I don't think this is even the right one, but twice I got A01 on there. So got on the plane. There you go. Front row. I do like to sit up there. In this particular case, I wanted to get off the plane quickly because I had a transfer. Normally, I'd be shooting back for that. I think it's, gosh, what is it, F12? There's a seat. You'll see a picture of it here in a minute that has an unbelievable amount of leg room. Sitting in the front kind of sucks because you don't have a seat in front of you to put your backpack under, so it has to go in the overhead storage. But it's a nice trade-off. So I have my tablet and my neck pillow and my headphones out, and I spent the flight watching, oh my gosh, what is it? Pennyworth. There's 3 seasons of it out. It's the backstory of Batman's butler, Alfred Pennyworth. Highly recommend it. I'm enjoying it immensely. So I had that on my tablet, got to watch that on the way, and it was a good flight. Got into Austin and really enjoyed what I saw. It was a nice airport. Felt very patriotic when I got off. The walkway, runway, tube, whatever you call it, to get out was lined with American flags and Texas flags and lots of red, white, and blue decorations. I thought that was pretty cool. Big old flag of Texas out there. So I enjoyed it. I'd like to go back, and I was told that there's some excellent barbecue there. So I definitely would like to make a trip back and try that. So just a couple of minutes, I think maybe a half hour before I boarded. It was a very short stay in Austin. Got on the plane. This time I was A5, so I was the 5th person to get onto the plane and got pretty good seating. This is Tampa. This is the aquarium that I saw when I first got off. And it turns out this is a bar, like a bar restaurant that's inside of the airport there. And it was pretty cool seeing those fish swim around. But what was even cooler is you take a tram, you come across, and then you go to this section where you go to the baggage claim, and here's these two guys waiting for me. That is Indio on the left. We got Lee in the middle, and of course me on the right. And I cannot tell you, it was fantastic. I've known these guys for over 2 years. We've talked on the phone, we've talked on Zoom, we've emailed back and forth, and this is the first time to ever see the guys actually in person. So I was more than overjoyed. It was just a great meeting, very emotional and just fantastic. Plus, it turned out that it was Indio's birthday. So we went out of the airport, and this humongous flamingo is in there. And I was just so taken with this. If you look at the top of the ceiling, you can see it's like a reflection, mirrored reflection. So it gives you the impression that you're underwater. So this piece of art would be the view of the flamingo if you were standing on the bottom under the water. It's so cool. And there's a little size comparison for you to give an idea of how big that is. I'm 5'10", and that's, I'm not even taller than the beak on this thing. So I was pretty impressed with that. It's kind of cool. So from the airport, we had to go out and get something to eat. So we went over here to Uncle Reem's, and the guy, you just barely see him through the window. That's Kareem that runs the food truck. We had barbecue brisket and barbecued turkey, or not barbecue, smoked turkey. Oh, man, what a way to start off the trip. It was delicious. Plus, the guys told me that the weather was exceptional. The week before had just been unbearable. It was so hot. It was probably, 80 degrees that evening. Nice breeze blowing. We had a little bit of rainfall here and there, but the humidity wasn't that bad. So I was really impressed with it. And they just said if it had been a week before, it would have been unbearable. So good timing on my part. All right, the next morning, Lee and I got up. He came over and picked me up at my Airbnb, and we went over to the Cracker Barrel for breakfast, which I always enjoy. I got to tell you, though, I was really surprised, and I should have counted the number of handicap parking spots out in front of the Cracker Barrel. And I had forgotten that, a lot of snowbirds go here to retire. So it's not unusual to see, rows and rows of handicap parking when you're down there. So we had a great breakfast, enjoyed ourselves, and then we headed over to the Tampa Bay Car Museum. And I highly recommend, if anybody's going to be in Tampa and you're going to spend, any length of time, go over to this museum. It sits in a business district, and you wouldn't even know it was there. In this case, if Lee hadn't known, and we totally lucked out. There was maybe 5 other patrons in there, and the staff came over and talked to us about the cars. It's a family owned business, and they know about every car in there, the complete history, and they're more than willing to come over and discuss it with you. And we had such a good time, and some of the cars just unbelievable. So if you get a chance, go over there and check it out. We spent, a couple hours just walking around looking at all of the different automobiles in there. Here's one for all of my buddies here in California. This is the price of gas in Florida right now. Yeah, let's choke on. Some of us are paying close to $7 a gallon in California and over. All right, so this is an amazing family photo. This is, where were we at? Oh, that's Indio's house. And so I got to meet Indio's wife, Inez, and I have really communicated with her mostly through my YouTube channel. And what a sweetheart. I am telling you, she was just, you couldn't ask for a kinder lady. So we had lunch in the backyard. I didn't get the camera out quick enough to catch the snake, but as soon as we walked into Indio's backyard, there was a black snake that shot across the patio and out into the grass. And I was informed that those are good snakes. I didn't know there were good snakes, but there are. So I'm not a big snake fan. And Lee had told me that up to 4 people a year in Florida get eaten by alligators. You know what? Living in California, I'll keep my earthquakes and my sharks. Thank you very much. All right, so the next morning, this is the 3 of us meeting for breakfast. My head is blocking the bottom corner of the sign, but this place is actually called the Boozy Pig, and it's a meat market. It's a butchery. They do all their own butchery there, and then they have a cafe attached to it. So you get to go in and pick out your meat. And what an amazing breakfast. And this was Jessica, our waitress. She was so much fun, from Puerto Rico, and she took care of us, treated us like we were royalty. It was awesome. So here's a little bit of breakfast. This is what I had. I got some shredded beef in there and then some eggs. And that is bacon, but it's beef bacon. So it's from the belly of the cow rather than the belly of the pig. And it was delicious. It's kind of like if you were going to make jerky, but you stopped early, maybe halfway through or something. And it was delicious. Enjoyed that quite a bit. So here you go. Yeah, check that out. It was so good. All right. And then here, it was time to head over to Topgolf. I don't know if you guys have ever done this before. I had not, but I had so much fun. And this is where I got to meet Dennis for the first time. Here's the four of us standing up. We're on the third floor of this arena, this Topgolf arena. And the picture sucks. It's dark. We were backlit. But this is Dennis. And I was so happy to finally meet Dennis. He's one of my heroes. And you've heard me talk about him on the channel so many times. I've interviewed him on here. He's written a book about cancer, and I think everyone should read his book when you first get, well, anytime really, but when you first get cancer, it's a good book. It really, really explains a lot of things to you and can kind of help you getting started on your journey. And from what I understand from talking to him, he's actually working on a second one right now. So I'll be looking forward to that. But yeah, Dennis was a hoot. We had a great time. This is what it looks like. And I won't take the time to explain it to you, but you play games on that video screen behind you and you score points by hitting the golf ball. And so you do what the screen tells you to do. This is Lee. He was our lefty in the pack. And you can see those targets out there in the background. That's where you're trying to hit the ball to. And all kinds of fun ensues. All right. So this is me. And I can't believe I'm posting this, but this is a terrible golf form. Okay. So for those of you who golf, you can see what I did wrong. It was pretty bad. And that ball sliced to the right, hit one of those posts over there. So I didn't score any points on that, but overall, it didn't do too bad. All right, and this is Indio getting lined up. Actually, pretty good form, and he did rather well. I forget which game we were playing here. This might have been the one where we were going for distance, but he did a pretty good job. Nice connect with that ball. Yeah, heading out there. Nice job, Indio. All right, and here's the man. Boom! Look at that. Nice swing, and that ball goes sailing. Dennis says he plays golf most of the time, twice a day, lives on a golf course, and I'll tell you, it showed. But I was so embarrassed and so felt under pressure having Dennis watch me golf because he's pretty doggone good. But all in all, we had a fantastic time. There's a couple of them here in California, so I'm going to get some of the other cancer crew together and get ourselves a date, and we'll head over there and give it a shot because it really was fun. So this is out in front. This is two of us standing in the sunshine, and it did get really warm. The humidity came up, the sunshine was out, and it got hot standing out in front of there. Plus, trying not to squint too hard for the picture. But and here's all of us after golfing, and you can see the sweat on my forehead, man. I being Californian, I'm not used to that weather. All right, so this was getting a ride in the Corvette, 50th anniversary Corvette. And I figured out a couple of things. One, part of Dennis being in such good shape is he takes care of himself. He exercises, plays golf twice a day, rides his bicycle, lifts weights, very careful about what he eats. And he has to get in and out of this Corvette on a regular basis. I did it one time, and I was really amazed I didn't pull any muscle. So also, too, it was fun to ride in. This thing goes pretty quick. And I got a little show from Dennis. So thanks, Dennis, man. That was a good ride. I will not forget. So we headed over to Ford's Garage, a restaurant there in Tampa. Pretty sure we were still in Tampa. And if anybody gets the opportunity to go here, I would highly suggest it. That Model A, I think it is, that's up on the roof, that is a full-size vehicle. And there's more than one. There's a few of those hanging from the ceiling. Everything in there is awesome. Your silverware is wrapped in shop towels. The bathrooms, which I felt uncomfortable taking pictures in, the sinks are spare tires. The water comes out of what looks to be a gas hose. The urinals were oil cans that were cut open. It was pretty slick. The food was delicious. We had a great time. They do have a little signature thing they do to your burger. They take a branding iron and put Ford's Garage in there. So if you get a chance, check them out. You can see the hose clamp over there. That's what your silverware is wrapped up inside of a shop towel and held closed with that. So pretty cool the way they did it. And this was our last night together, and we went to a restaurant in Tampa in the Ybor district. I hope I'm still pronouncing that right. It's Ybor, Ybors I'm pretty sure how it's pronounced. And this place was built in 1905, the Columbia Restaurant, and it's just amazing. I should have taken more pictures, but it was my last night, so I was trying to spend all my time, pay attention to the guys. And this was us sitting down for dinner, and they treated us so well. So of course you recognize on the left myself and Dennis. On the right you got Lee, Indio, and this is Bob. Bob is also a prostate cancer warrior, and I have seen him in pictures from down. He lives there in Florida as well. So he joined us for dinner. So it was fantastic. All these prostate cancer warriors enjoying a meal together. And it was our last night. The waitress came over and gave us this card. And we also got a free dessert, a flan, which I didn't eat mine, but everybody signed it. All of the waiters and waitresses, the staff, it was fantastic. They made us feel so at home. And then this is Monday morning. I'm getting ready to leave. Lee took me to the airport. So we stopped for one last selfie on the flight home. And it was pretty good. Okay, so this is my group position going home. I got another AO1, and I sat in the choice seat. This is the one I really like. And I believe it's F12. I'm not positive. But because it's the emergency row exit and the way they have them set up, there's no seat in front of you. You do have to store, that's my backpack up, another 2 rows in front of me, but so much leg room back here. It is fantastic. So I scored big time. I will tell you though, just quick before I wrap up this video, when I landed in Austin, left Tampa, flew to Austin, had to do a plane change in Austin. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if our flight was delayed, what it was, but my layover disappeared. They were loading my next flight as I was getting off of this one. So I was running. And they'd already started to board. I had, I think, AO6 for the flight from Austin to Long Beach, but they'd already started to board. And as I'm going, a lot of you who've been with me on this channel for a while know that I have a suprapubic catheter. So I have a tube that hangs out of my abdomen, and that's how I evacuate urine from my body. Well, I had a bag on, and somehow, I guess from twisting or the way I was sitting or whatever it was, the connection started to come loose. And so I could feel my leg getting warm. And I realized what was happening was I was no longer draining into the bag. I was draining into my leg. So I'm trying to hurry and get to the plane so I don't miss the flight, and trying to reconnect the hose to the urine bag that's strapped to my leg. I got to tell you, if anybody had video of that, I would pay them to get it. I held on through had my hand in my pocket, and was trying to hold the bag up because it was starting to slide down my leg. It was just unbelievable. I thought, what else could go wrong? So I made it up to the plane, got onto the gangway, and the people behind me, I was chatting with them a little bit. They were super nice, and I said, hey, if you wouldn't mind, if you could provide some cover for me, I'd appreciate it. I yanked up my legs, my short pants, and was able to reconnect it, do a little adjustment. Then I got on the airplane, headed for the lavatory, and I was able to get everything back in line, get it all reconnected. And it worked out fine. So flew back to Long Beach, landed there, took an Uber home, and it was fantastic. So I want to suggest that if any of you have friends, whether through the prostate community or not, anybody that you've talked to and you finally get to meet them in person, it makes all the difference in the world. The touching part of it. On Sunday, we went to church with Indio and his family, and they actually brought me up on stage. We talked about prostate cancer, about getting checked, and about the love of that congregation. It was absolutely amazing. Sorry. And honestly, we didn't take any pictures of that, but it was great. Lee and I sat in the front row and just totally enjoyed the church service. One of the things that the pastor mentioned, Pastor John, was, and I want to say it was Timothy, talked about how steel sharpens steel and how men sharpen each other by face to face. I totally jacked that up, but I'm hoping you get the idea of what I'm talking about. So that's what I did. I was so completely uplifted at this weekend and spending time with these 3 guys. I love them all. And it's just so nice because now I'm carrying that in my heart, the time that I spent with them. I do have a few more guys on the cancer crew that I'm going to go visit. I'm going to try and get everything in before the end of the year. But I got to tell you, Lee, Indio, you guys were so awesome. to pick me up and run everywhere. Dennis, special thanks to you, brother, for coming down. I know it's a longer drive for you to get down there, and you came down 2 days in a row, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. All the kindness you guys extended to me, all of the love, all the people I got to meet down there. It was just fantastic. So I want to say thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the pictures. I kind of feel like, the old things where you open up your wallet and the pictures would go and fall out. But I had a great trip, and I just wanted to share it with you. So thanks so much for being there. I appreciate all the prayers you guys send my way. I have a more medical focused video coming up here soon. I will tell you, though, that things are going great. They're going awesome. And I appreciate it. So I'm praying for all of you. I thank you for being there. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video.